Welcome to tonight's Sunday sports session. So I'm apparently a little bit jittery again. Oh dear. Um, the first thing you might notice is I've had a little bit of a do. It's a bit extreme. I'm not sure about it. I think I might have won who is the best lockdown hairdresser. My husband disagrees. I think I won, which means I lost, which is terribly depressing. Hopefully it won't be too long until we can get somebody. Um, Good half term. If you are watching live, if you can pop on and say hi, it's always nice to know people are there and I'm not just talking to myself. If you're not watching it live, you can still comment later and I will see your comments. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to talk to me about, you are welcome to message the page or me personally. I don't mind. Always happy to help. So tonight is all about good money, and that's about ethical business and making decision choices in your business that mean you are more ethical and how that can make you more successful. So a little bit about me. I am Renee Bell, and I am the director of Made in Midlothian, founder and director, I guess. I'm always a little bit shy about saying that. It's definitely not all me. Lots of amazing people are behind this. And I am also a potter. So I run my own studio. I have Yellow Door Studio. So I've been in business for nearly 2 years now and potting for about seven. So it's just a small home pottery in our conservatory, just out from our lounge room, through that wall. And yeah, it's going really well. I specialize in bespoke functional hand thrown ceramics, which are really popular right now. Everybody's eating off the same dishes every day, so they're deciding that actually it's something they might value. Um, so that's all going well. A little bit about Made in Midlothian. We are a community interest company, which means we are about um, making profit. We are a business, but we put all our money back into the community, into things like this, although actually this is put on for free by me. But programs like this, and we've got lots of community art projects coming up. Um, and yeah, so we're about giving paid opportunities and platform for artists to promote and be supported by us. And so this week, what have we got on? We have um, our. Is it quite difficult to hear me? It is quite difficult to hear me.
Can you hear me now? Oops. My husband is over there sighing because he set all this up for me beautifully, and I've gone and forgotten to put my microphone on. No, Alana, it is not your phone. Um, Alana says she's just here for the hair. Well, you got to get them on somehow, don't you? Andrew says, my husband Andrew says he likes the hair and thinks it looks great. I'm unsure. It's a bit punky. I'm not sure how punky I am. Am I punky? Susan Gregory says better. Yeah, thanks, Susan. I think that probably is a lot better. So now that you can hear me, if you're here, please say hi. It's lovely to see you all tonight. So what's on this week in Made in Midlothian? We have our final of Unlock has been out. So that is Resilience this week. And it's a beautiful exhibition this week. I was really proud of all our submissions, and the wonderful Matt Elliott has done a beautiful job putting music to it and putting it all together for us. It's another amazing person doing wonderful things for Made in Midlothian. We have a final of that coming up. So keep posted on the page. There'll be a final with it all put together. We have our late night shopping on the Midlothian Makers Market. So if you're looking for some gifts or looking for somewhere to sell some wares, keep in mind you can post throughout the week. The group is there for us to use. And if you're looking for something, feel free to say that you're looking for something on the post. But yes, post your wares. We are trying to provide a place because there are no craft markets right now. So that is as close to a craft market as we can get. We have the kids choir video coming out on Saturday night, which is really exciting. That's our second kids virtual Midlothian kids virtual choir, and it. Oh no, I won't give it away. Do we know? Yes, we do. It's Three Little Birds, so it'll be really sweet and uplifting. And I think, again, that's paired with the Woodburn Art Club's, pardon me, artwork. um, so it's lovely. Local kids have been creating stuff and submitting it, and they've been doing their own exhibitions. So they're going to use some of that work to put together with the music. Um, oh, the other thing I meant to say is that if you are watching somewhere else, please pop onto the main Made in Midlothian page. So I put this onto my business page just because it gets Made in Midlothian a little bit more following. And I've also put it on the Made in Midlothian market group and the Made in Midlothian networking group, just to try and get it to as many people as possible. And if you are on any of those, I can't see your comments. So my husband's just passed me a phone here. You can hardly hear me. Yep. Yep, I've fixed that problem. Sorry about that. But yeah, pop onto the main page to comment so I can reply to you and see your comments. I can't manage anymore, I'm afraid. It's too much. So what else have we got on? After the kids' virtual choir, ooh, bashing the screen. After the kids' virtual choir, we have a very exciting, it's our first birthday. So it's 1 year since we launched, which I can't believe that that's that short a time and that long a time, and that I have this many people that are all rallying around and creating something which is if I do say so myself, turning out to be really amazing. So join us for a cocktail at 7:30. I on the 27th, Saturday the 27th at 7:30. Join us for a cocktail, and then we've also got My Music Monday coming out as well. I don't know who's on that yet. You'll have to tune in to see who's been picked. And we have these Sunday support sessions, which this is the last one of. It was a series of 5, I think. So we did a series of 5. I'm getting next Sunday off, which I'm pretty sure my husband, yes, he is quite literally throwing his arms up in the air, very, very pleased about this because he sets up all my tech. So he is very relieved that we've got one Sunday off, and then I'm going to start again, but this time with a different lot. I think you've all heard me waffle on long enough. Certainly I have. I don't even watch these back. It tires me out listening to myself right now. So we we'll be back on the 5th of July, and I'm going to instead interview some local artists, small businesses, and people with experience and that might be able to offer some of our makers a bit more help. Because I know I'm out of tips. I don't even do half the things I'm saying. We need more successful people. So we're starting off with Tom Cooper, who is a wood turner down in New Battle Abbey, who's been going for about 20 years since he started, and a really nice bloke. Not bad on the eyes. Do pop in. It'll be good fun. Sorry, I shouldn't have my husband in the room. He's too distracting. He's getting upset now. Not really. So the other thing is there are loads of projects going on in Made in Midlothian. Sorry, I had to look at my sheet. Loads of projects. So we've got lots of community art projects starting with funding from One Dalkeith. So make sure you like the page and put on see first to see all our latest, because there is loads more coming and they're announced every day, and there's a lot on, so you miss things if you don't. So if anybody has any questions or things to chat about, anything you want to say, Ish, we've got Alana there. Which friends do I have in the group? Yeah, please do put them in the comments. It's nice to be as interactive as possible in these things, I think, rather than me just waffling on. Alana is saying she wishes she had some money to buy stuff, but loving looking for the future reference. And some great new stuff showing up too. And we've got some amazing makers on the market. There's some really talented people with beautiful wares. And it's difficult because I know lots of people are looking at it and not, that don't have the resources. There's loads of people struggling. But we like to hope there's lots of people that aren't as well. And there are lots of businesses that are doing really well, and lots of people that have had all their holidays cancelled and suddenly have lots of spare money. So we are seeing lots of sales, which is great. If you don't have the money, though, remember, show your support. There's so many ways to show your support, and just a comment on a post. You'd be amazed just putting one comment on a post, how much more likely it is to be seen by other people. So yeah, anything you like, you can help them out by liking and sharing their posts, anything like that. It really does make a massive difference. And I'll be honest, when we're all not at craft markets and sitting in our houses posting things and making things, it is so uplifting and just priceless, even a comment sometimes. Um, it really does make a difference. Janie's saying to make it easy, she's been delivering locally, and that's a really big thing that we're trying to be about in Made of Midlothian is supporting our local economy because I think there's a good chance we're in for a pretty big crash, but we can help so much, and it could almost be maybe not reversed, but probably heading for it regardless. But if just a percentage of those Amazon sales go to Midlothian makers, it would make such a difference. And yeah, supporting people at this time is so important. So that is an ethical thing that we should be doing. We should be doing it anyway. And I'm hoping that after this, people will be so much more used to supporting their local makers. So there's hope. And also, let's face it, importing is probably going to get really expensive. So, slightly depressing, but also hopeful note. We're going to talk about ethical businesses and what it means to be an ethical business. And of course, that is a massive, statement. There isn't such a thing as this is an ethical business and this isn't. There are many models you can use to ensure you are more ethical, like Made of Midlothian has its community interest company, but actually anybody can be an ethical business and it doesn't need a label and it doesn't need any of those things. There's so many forms in which that comes in. So, for example, massive larger companies like Lidl's, they do their ethical business through paying a living wage, something that we really like them for, the actual living wage. But obviously, for smaller businesses, that's not something we can think about. But there are so many things we can do, and we have an amazing array of ethical businesses in Made of Midlothian. So some of the things you can do are by making ethical products. So we've got lots of ethical makers, people who are making their own package-free soap. We've got people who make reusable lunch bags. We've got Approachable Earth. She does reusable lunch bags to save down on packaging. I use reusable packaging in Yellow Door Studio. All my packaging is donated from Amazon deliveries and saves it from the landfill. We have people donating profits. So we've got Plain Hooky donates all her profits to Sands, which is absolutely lovely. And we've also got Samantha Gray, who it took me a while to think of the name there, who donates her profits to Dyslexia Scotland. And there's also things like offering paid opportunities and training and employment and things like that to people. So that's one of the things Made of Midlothian do to continue being an ethical business, is offering paid projects to artists right now, which we're doing through funding through One Dalkeith currently, and we're looking at funding through Creative Scotland. Where am I up to now? But yes, basically, it is about taking your business and using it to make the world a slightly better place. Um, so I'm just going to check my comments here because, yes, Susan Gregory is saying a little comment makes such a difference. And it really does. She's saying it lets someone know that they've appreciated that you've shared with them and that they like what you've made. But it's also scarily about the Facebook algorithms, because if nothing is liked or commented, it's just lost. And that's, somewhere down the feed a million miles away. And Janie's saying that I'm right with the buying locally. And it is, I make quite a point right now to say thank you for the support, because people are deliberately trying. They really want to be out there supporting makers. And currently things are hard to get. So it's the perfect time to put yourself out there as much as possible. So to start, no, we've already started. I'm back there. I've got to get back to my thing. So keep in mind, being ethical isn't a black and white. It is a scale, and it's just about making one choice slightly better than the last and making the world a little bit of a better place each time. And if you think about it, all support networks are reciprocal. Maiden Midlothian are out there trying to support artists, but we require support from other people and from our makers, from the artists. It's not a one-way street. Um, Sorry, I'm just getting the tea bag out of my tea, something I should have done earlier. Um, so really, when you're thinking about starting a business or what your business is doing and how it can be more ethical, I think one of the most important things to think about is what can you give? Because all capitalism and businesses are about giving something. It's about taking money, but it is about giving something. And what you are giving the world is really important, and how you make and you know your output should be ethical. And so that's uh, I'm rambling on a little. That's thinking about what you're planning to do, and there's all different ways that you can make it a commercial idea, no matter what your output is. There are things like I'd mentioned earlier, like donating profits and all goods to a charity. You can reduce on waste. Obviously, I was saying I do that with my packaging. It's not always easier, these things. Some of them are harder decisions than others, some are more costly than others, but many of them are actually save you lots of money. I've saved an immense amount of money on packaging, and it's not necessarily easier, but it is money that I've saved. I don't buy packaging, and that's hundreds of pounds. And so much packaging saved from landfill. You can do things like selling on behalf of people. So you can do marketing stuff for charities and things like that. It does sometimes feel like you're selling out, but try and, as long as you are doing it for something that you genuinely care about, it's not selling out at all. Um, and you can also do things like people buying one and you donating one for every one they buy. Um, and another thing you can do, if you can't find a commercial viability in your idea, there's lots of things like GoFundMe and Crowdfunder. If you are doing things like making masks, they're really popular at the moment, GoFundMe. If you've got something that is just giving and you don't want to be charging people for it in any way, that's a really good option to still be able to pay yourself something for doing it. Oh, what have I got? What have I got? Sorry. I wasn't feeling very well this afternoon. I've pulled it together, but I didn't have a lot of practice time. Um, so the main thing, though, I think, when looking at building an ethical business or making your business more ethical, is realizing your values and looking at your values. Because as a great book that I read was Mark Manson, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a um, and it is a great book, and it is all about actually caring about something. There is only so much you can care about, so you really do need to think about picking a thing. And that's, really important, because you can't do it all. You can't care about everything. You can't be ethical in every way. So you need to find something that you genuinely care about. If you try and fake it, it won't work, and it won't just work and people will see through it. It will be more work for you. There's got to be something you care about, even if it's not considered ethical by most. Everybody's got different values, and just go for that thing. And then celebrate it and show it to the world. You might lose a few customers, you might lose a bit of a following, but what you will gain from that will be strength in your following, because it's not about how many likes are on Facebook. It's about how many people believe in you and what you're doing and are invested in that idea. And all successful businesses pretty much use storytelling. It's a really well-known way of communicating what you are doing and what your beliefs are through marketing. And it is the fastest and easiest way to connect to somebody. It is the easiest thing to do, just ramble on about something you really care about. Um, I do it every week. And it does, it makes it so much easier if you genuinely care about it. And on the other hand, it makes it so much easier to connect to that person if they genuinely care about you. You have an immediate bond and fortification of that relationship as a customer. Um, so, um, what have I got next? You. Oh no, I'm done there. I rambled on enough that I've finished that section apparently. What I didn't mention though is a lot of these things come from another book which I was posting about in the event, which is a fantastic book by Jonathan Self. And I'm trying to signal to my husband to bring it to me because apparently I left it on the coffee table. Um, so this book is by a fantastic ethical business. I absolutely love this guy. He's called Jonathan Self, and it's Good Money. Um, and he talks about how much more likely you are to be successful if you have an ethical business, and all the reasons why you should, and some of the changes you can make. And lots of the stuff that I've spoken about is in this book, and it is wonderfully short and easy to read. Lots of um lots of very brief almost gifs, I guess. Um, so I'm just going to check my comments. That's most of me done. I'll talk a little bit about the ethical choices I've made. Um, so Janie Bakes is saying her packaging is an issue. Been buying biodegradable, but due to COVID, she had to wrap absolutely every item. Yeah, that's difficult. Single-use plastics. Other ideas for wrapping cakes. I would be absolutely happy with unwrapped cakes, and that is, again, that's a decision that you can make because you care about the environment and celebrate it and say our cakes are all in biodegradable. It does mean this. I wouldn't have a problem with my cakes coming unwrapped in a box or a bag. That would be absolutely fine. Yeah, somebody else, Elena's saying she prefer unwrapped but boxed. Um, Claire is saying it's book for her. It is a really easy book. He's a really lovely guy. The other thing that he says is write about it. If you're doing something amazing, write a book. He's wonderfully self-aware. Um, yeah, it is really difficult. But there you go. This is a wonderful thing this is for, is there's several comments here saying, no, I would be happy to buy unboxed. And I think that is, a bit of you could always put a poll on your page and see what people would prefer. But equally, if it is something that you really care about, go for it and people will follow you. If you're making ethical decisions, people will follow you because they care about that exact thing. Um, so Alana's saying if every item's wrapped individually, doesn't mean that it's touched more. Um, and yeah, sometimes it does. Sometimes things that look a particular way aren't actually, and being genuine about these things is so important. I'd love to hear about anything else if anybody's got any other successes or things they're struggling with. I can imagine being in the food industry right now, it's really difficult. Even sourcing packaging, I imagine there must be quite a need because all the restaurants are delivering. Um, so some of the things that I have done, what have I done? So I reuse all my packaging. I've started just slowly. I've been working at it slowly for a long time about trying to just change things a little and buy things in larger packages to reduce larger bottles of glaze and things like that to reduce on the packaging and the shipping. And those little decisions, if you just keep making them, and it's the same with our everyday lives and being more environmentally conscious and things like that, it's just keep making slightly better decisions and you'll get used to it. We're slightly cutting down on meat more and more every day, and we're getting used to it. Change, nobody likes change. It's one of the problems with COVID-19 as a lockdown is it's just change, and change is hard. So another thing I do in my business is I look at my output. So I always try to make things that, I mean, the wonderful thing about pottery is that it lasts forever. We have pottery still around from thousands of years ago. And if, you know, you buy a set of my dishes, you will be using them for the rest of your life, barring gravity. I don't guarantee against gravity. But yeah, you'll be using it the rest of your life. It'll last forever. And that's, something to really think about when you're making stuff, whether it's biodegradable, whether it's going to be around forever. Somewhere horribly in between is what you don't want to be. So I've been looking at putting fairy doors around the forest, and I was saying it's funny because everyone talks about things being biodegradable, but actually, when I'm putting my fairy doors out, they're going to be there for 100 years, who knows, maybe more. And so putting numbers on them because they'll get overgrown, and then kids will still know there's a number out there to find. But um, again, trying to make the world a little bit of a better place. And yeah, it's thinking about your output. So I do lots of things like reusable gift tags and stuff like that that are thinking about reducing on packaging. And all through that Good Money book, all through it, it says you are just more likely to succeed if you make these decisions. A lot of the time, it's actually about cutting down on your costs and cutting down on what you're using, reducing your menu to cut down on waste. Things like that are actually more profitable. So a lot of ethical decisions are more profitable. It's often about spending less money on stuff that's not needed. And the last thing I do as my business, before I started my business, I spent my time running the local play group because I was looking after lots of kids, and that was something that I genuinely and still do feel is really important and really needed and worthwhile. And so I did that for a couple of years, and by the time I got starting my business, I've got 4 kids. I'm done. So done on play groups. I've been attending them for 12 years now. So when I finally decided, I thought I'm not just going to stop doing that. I'm going to put it somewhere else. And that's when I started looking at starting an open studio day and joining the Dalkeith Arts Committee. I will get my open studio day one day. I will. I will. But yes, so doing things with MIM has been the best thing I've ever done with my business. It's giving back, and it has made me much more visible. It's just done wonders, and I think it's just again, it's something that I care about genuinely, um, and something that other people care about too, and they follow you on that journey. And there's nothing like putting some good out into the world for your business. There really isn't. Um, anyway, that's me done pretty much rattling on. I'll just check. Janie's saying yes, of course, she uses gloves to do the packaging. Um, uh, and asking and not assuming that's what people want is really important. She's absolutely right. Um, and it is really difficult, and you are producing stuff. No one is ever going to be 100% ethical. Human beings aren't ethical. So don't be careful not to get too wrapped up in it, and just make those small little changes regularly. And sometimes, yeah, asking people if they want you to be more ethical is a really good stance to have, because the people that say yes will feel more invested in your business. Um, so yeah, if you have any suggestions or anything here you don't want to put on the comments, anything you want to say, you can message me at renee@madeofmidlothian.com. You can message the page. You can message my private Facebook. I'm happy to help. And yeah, thanks for joining us for our last Sunday session. There's not any bad comments about the hair. I don't know who won lockdown hairdresser. You'll have to go spy on my husband's profile to see who really won, because he's rocking a very interesting style. I think I pulled it off though. But yes, thanks everyone for joining me. It's been such a pleasure having you all here, and really nice doing these Sunday sessions. Um, a 1 week's break, and I am super excited about interviewing Tom Cooper. So join me then. All right, guys. Thanks very much. Bye.